evening to one and all attending this webinar today. Today's topic is Avenues of Bank Finance, MSME and Startups. We are conducting it from the MSME and Startup Promotion Board. We are very delighted to tell you that today our speaker is the CMA Balbir Singh, who is the General Manager of PNB, who on this occasion has consented us to be the speaker today. We are very pleased to announce it. So before we start, just we want to play the Institute's anthem.
Think, are you live already? Are we?
Welcome back. Now I am requesting to the Chairman of MSME and Startup Promotion Board, CMA Suresh Rachappa Gunjali said, to please say something on this occasion. Over to Chairman sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Secretary, ma'am. CMA Balbir Singh ji, GM Punjab National Bank, Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay ji, Central Council Member and Chairman Banking and Financial Services, and my dear CMA professional colleagues. Board MSME board has declared this month as a MSME month. Entire June month we are going to conduct a series of webinar and as well as some physical program across the India to vibrate the CMA profession and meet the MSME entrepreneurs, and we make our profession visible to the MSME entrepreneurs. This is the objective of the this month actually. So in this direction, this is the first webinar we are starting, and I personally welcome on behalf of MSME board CMA Balbir Singh ji for this first webinar on this month. Sir, thank you for accepting our invitation at shorter time. I think we are into sir. Thanks the Chittaranjan sir for making this webinar happens. Because of Chittaranjan sir only arranged this webinar, and I thank Chittaranjan sir also. Welcome all of you for this webinar. Ma'am, over to you. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Chairman of the BFSI board, CCM Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay sir, who is a member of this board as well, to kindly say something on this occasion.
Namaskar. Very respected today's speaker, who is one of the prolific banker, CMA Balbir Singh, will be speaking on the various financing avenues on MSME and startups by the banks. I welcome you, sir. My chairman, Suresh Gunjali, who is always trying to connect with the various stakeholders with the CMA profession. Last week we had one excellent move with the NIMSME, and that is definitely a big, breakthrough for us. And I'm sure through his effort, we shall be able to reach to the unreached in the MSME sectors. And I am very much delighted to a program which is being conceptualized by the MSME Startup Promotion Board in the month of this observance of MSME month, MSME and Startup month, of course. Friends, before our speaker and mention, we have to know there. And with these MSMEs, I'm just. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, but the network is breaking in between.
Am I audible? Anybody can confirm me?
Yes, sir, you are audible, but sometimes network is breaking.
Okay, I'm just going to just I'll be finishing with a very brief note, because these are very important sessions. It has been considered by our very learned faculty, CMA Balbir Singh. Before he starts, I just want to set the tone of this program. The MSMEs have got many channels of financing. Banks are playing a very pivotal role on that. Traditional finance, they are the traditional finance providers, basket of loan providers, and they are offering and diverse MSME, needs, and the large tickets, size loan also they are doing it. And that's why bank is one of the inevitable, institutions through which the MSME growth will be there. As MSMEs, as you know, they are contributing to the country's GDP largely to the extent of 40% and even more. And the employment, if you say, government has got a target of 25 crores, MSME, they will be providing the MSME services, manufacturing and hospital and service sectors, of course. And there are NBFCs, then development financial institutions. Then we have also, venture debt financing, fintechs are there, microfinance, institutions are there. So we have started with the banks, which is one of the pillar of the economy. And today we are very happy with this particular program. You will be able to learn so many things. Friends, I remind you in this budget 26, the 2026, we have been given tremendous, given the huge importance. As you know that micro, small and medium enterprises division in the turnover criteria, and even in the investment criteria also, government has changed it, and our honorable finance minister has given a lot of bonanza to the MSMEs for growth of the MSMEs in this country. And I just want to mention you that today's session will be a lot of interest for you. What are the avenues by the banks? And we are very much proud that one of our CMA, he will be delving on that. And I am requesting you that, keeping in mind that our role in the MSME sectors is gaining more and more importance, and especially for the growth of the country, the Viksit Bharat 2047 is the criteria, and the government has fixed and given responsibility to us to participate for the nation's growth. So today's session, I must congratulate MSME Startup Promotion Board under the leadership of CMA Suresh Gunjali to hold this program. We'll be all looking for a very encouraging and very exciting sessions today. And we beg your pardon for having some technical glitch in the initial phase, but now we shall start our program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your nice address. Now, I want to introduce the speaker with the audience, our CMA Balbir Singh, who is an associate member of our institute and associate member of the CS Institute as well. He is a CAIIB. He is the general manager and coordinator of State Level Bankers Committee, West Bengal. He is having 34 years of experience as a coordinator, SLBC, zonal head, Meerut UP, company secretary cum board secretary 6 years, faculty and teaching 4 years, and banking 22 years. rich experience in various fields of banking, worked as senior faculty in PMB training centers and handled large corporate lending, depository services, profit and capital planning, investor relations. Working in 6 states in various capacities up to the level of general manager. Currently working as coordinator SLBC West Bengal. Worked as in charge of profit planning, sale, investor relations, product or branch profitability in PNB. So he is having vivid experience. I know that all the attendees are waiting eagerly to listen from him. So, sir, please join us and enlighten us.
Thank you, ma'am. My voice is clear, ma'am?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Respected CMA Vibhuti Bhushan Naik, sir, President ICMAI, CMA TCS Srinivasan Prasad, sir, Vice President ICMAI, CMA Chitranjan Chattopadhyay, sir, Chairman BSFI Board ICMAI, CMA Suresh Gunjali, sir, Chairman MSPB ICMAI, Madam CMA Dr. Sunita Chakravarti, she is the Additional Director, Secretary MSME and Startup Promotion Board. All senior members, ladies and gentlemen. Today, our subject is avenues of bank finance for MSME and startup. If we think about the MSME, it is not only from the banker's point of view that this is the opportunity for lending, but at the same time, it is a dream for the entrepreneur, those who are going to fulfill through this. At the same time, the public at a large seek the employment opportunity in this sector. Government is targeting economic development of this country through MSME. And at the same time, our CMA professionals can see the opportunity in their practice in the MSME sector. How the CMAs can do the practice? Because this is a large sector, they can help them in the formation of different type of organization. They can help in guiding for taking the finance. They can help in the taxation, export, production, marketing, and all activity. If I see without CMA, it cannot be fulfilled. So our role is most important in the MSME. If I see the banker's point of view, the role of bankers is to support them, their financial needs. If the banker underfinance to MSME, it creates the problem and their financial problems. If the banker finance the overfinancing, then it may funds may be misused. The both situations cannot be taken good, either under finance or over finance. So bankers, they evaluate their financial needs and provide the adequate finance so that they can grow and contribute a lot in the economy, and different stakeholders can take the benefit for their development. If you see what is the importance and what is the role, I hope the slide is visible to all the members. Madam, can you confirm? Hello? Sumita ma'am?
Yes,
Is
sir.
this-
I am listening to it. It is visible. You please,
This-
PPT,
Okay, slide-
you please upload.
Okay.
PPT,
Right.
you please upload. Start uploading.
So
Yes, sir.
MSME are the growth engine.
You please share
of-
your PPTs for their, sir.
So it is visible, ma'am. PPT is visible.
No. PPTs are not visible.
Okay, just I'm sharing the PPT.
Yes, sir.
I hope Now it is fine, ma'am?
Yes,
Hello?
yes. Now it is
Yes.
coming. Now it is coming. I am
Yes.
showing.
Okay. So MSME are the growth engine for New India. They have proved essential in this age of economic development and that we are witnessing around us. So they are operating in the different parts of the country. More than 6 crore MSMEs are playing their role for building a strong and self-reliant country. Around 30% of the country's GDP is being contributed. Ma'am, is it fine? Voice is clear?
No, sir. No, sir. PPTs,
Voice is,
you've been, and now it is showing. Yes, sir.
and my voice, ma'am, it is fine?
Your voice is
Okay.
fine.
Okay. So around 30% of the country's GDP is being contributed by the MSME. Out of total manufacturing output, 45% is being contributed by MSME, and in the export, MSME is contributing 45%. Around 25 crore employees are employed in the MSME sector. So keeping in view of their contribution, we can say that MSME is the backbone of the country. If we see in the budget 26-27, the government of India has provided more than 23,000 crore for the MSME. They have revised the classification criteria. So investment and turnover both, if we see the investment, they have increased almost 2.5% from the existing investment. For the micro, it was earlier 1 crore. It is now 2.5 crore. Small enterprises limit was increased from 10 to 25 and medium enterprises 50 to 125. Likewise, the turnover for the micro, it is now revised to 10 crore. Small, it is 100 crore, and medium, it is 500 crore as on date. So earlier, the units or MSME which were out of the MSME definition due to their investment or their turnover ceiling, now they will be within this definition. In addition to that, for the MSC sector, the CGTMSE coverage was increased from 5 crore to 10 crore. So it will enable almost 1.5 lakh crore credit in the next 5 years. So we can say almost 30,000 crore additional credit will be contributed by this enhanced limit per year. For the startups, the CGTMSE coverage is increased from 10 to 20 crore. And the fees is reduced to 1% of the loan amount. Exporter MSME will benefit from term loan up to 20 crore with enhanced guarantee cover. The government also came with the credit card for micro enterprises up to 10 lakhs. And a fund was created with amount of rupees 10,000 crore to expand support for the startups. For the first time, women, SC/ST entrepreneurs, 5 lakh amount will be given, and they have targeted that at least 2 crore, a term loan up to 2 crore over the next 5 years will be provided to the each first time women SC/ST entrepreneurs. If we see the distribution of MSME, as on yesterday, I can say this is the latest data. If we see 60% MSMEs are being managed by male and 40% MSMEs are being managed by the females. So we can see that the females are contributing a lot in the MSME sector. Here the classification is done based on the promoter, or if it is a company, then it is based on the shareholder. How if majority shareholder is a male, then it is classified as a male, or otherwise it is a female. If you see manufacturing sector, 21% MSME are in the manufacturing, 35% are service, and in the trading, 44% are in the trading. If we see the category wise, so for the scheduled caste, 11%, scheduled tribe 3%, OBC 31%, Divyangjan 1%, and the others are 54%. In the rural area, 51% of MSME are registered in the rural area, and in the urban, 49%. As on date, the total employment generation is around 28 crore, which was 25 crore in the month of February when the budget was presented, as we have seen in the last slide. So almost 6.5 crore MSMEs are working or registered in India. If we see the distribution according to the state wise, then Maharashtra is contributing highest with the 13% MSMEs are there. Followed by UP 11%, thereafter Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Karnataka, MP. So more than 50% MSMEs are registered in these 6 states only. If we see the geographically diversification of the MSME, we can see that how they are contributing the GDP of the state. If we see one state is from the center, 2 states are from south, UP is from north, Maharashtra is from west, and West Bengal is from the east side. So it is spread all over India. It is not that they are spread for a particular region or the state. So this is the best part of the economy, that they are contributing equally in all the parts of this country. If we see the bigger large companies, it may be concentrated in the few states, but MSMEs are concentrated or spread all over the country. Now, what are the RBI prescribe about the MSMEs? RBI has given the target to the banks, all commercial banks and foreign banks, that they have to finance at least 7.5% of their NPFs, A and BC. We can treat in a simple language that the total credit. So 7.5% of the total credit should flow to the micro enterprises, and micro is the smallest unit under MSME. Secondly, RBI have specifically mentioned that no bank can ask any collateral security for the loan to MSME up to 10 lakh rupees. If it is a Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program, no collateral security can be asked from any of the entrepreneur if the loan is up to 25 lakh. In addition to that, Prime Minister's Task Force on MSME had desired from the banks that in MSME at least 20% YoY growth in credit should be achieved. And it should not be not only the credit growth, and the number wise also, at least the number of MSME should also grow annually at least 10%. 60% of the total lending to MSE means micro small enterprises sector should be to the MSME only, MSE only. Next. Now the question arises, what are the working capital lending to MSME? Bankers give the 2 types of the lending. One is the term lending or investment lending, and the other is the working capital lending. Term lending, generally banks keep the margin maximum 25%, or it may be 20, 15 or 10% based on the scheme and the support given by the government. In some of the cases, it is 5% only. For the working capital lending, it is for their day-to-day requirement. So term lending is very simple. Only the banks take care that the project is economically viable and technically feasible. They ensure this, and thereafter they take the margin for the promoter's contribution and they finance for that. Generally, the repayment in the term loan is 5 years and more, so that they MSME can repay the loan by generating the cash flow in the business. And the working capital lending to MSME is directly linked with their turnover. Because if the turnover of sales is higher, they need more capital. So bank understand their operating cycle. What is their operating cycle? And accordingly, they finance it to the MSME. So one of the deputy governor, Mr. PJ Naik, has simplified this process to lending to MSME. And this the method is called the Naik committee or turnover method. He simply defined that operating cycle of any MSME is 3 months, means the working capital requirement is 25% of total projected turnover of the MSME unit. So suppose we have the projected turnover of 100 lakh for a unit. So working capital requirement will be 25%, which will be 25 lakhs. The borrower has to contribute minimum 5% margin, and the remaining will be financed by the bank. So 5 lakh will be contributed by the borrower or entrepreneur, and the bank will finance maximum 20 lakhs in that case. If the margin of the borrower is higher than 5%, then accordingly bank finance will be reduced. So this is the simplest way of lending to the MSME sector. And this method is generally used by the banks up to the working capital lending of 7.5 crore. So this is the Naik committee simplified turnover method. Second method is working capital assessment for MSME. Actually, now these days, we have seen that there are a revolution through the GST. There is a revolution through the digitalization. So to promote the GST and the digitalization, the government has desired that higher financing be given to the units, those who are the GST number, those who are having the GST sales in their record, and those who are doing the digital, accepting the digital payment of their sales. So the formula is same, but for the MSME units, those who are having the GST number, the digital sales, the bank finance up to 30% of their projected sales. And for the non-digital, bank finance 25%. So we can say in the Naik committee, where we are financing 20% of their sales, in the GST of MSME, bank finance is 25% of the projected sale. And if the sales is digital and it is a GST registered MSME, then the loan will be 30% of the projected sales. If the unit is not having the GST number, in that case, For the non-digital sales, the 20% as we have discussed in the NI committee banks will provide. And for digital sales, then 5% additional will be provided, 25% of their projected sales. It will take care. Other method, which is the traditional method, maximum permissible bank finance method. Generally, this method is being used if the loan requirement is more than 7.5 crore. First two methods which we have discussed were applicable where the loan requirement was only 7.5 crore. So here, on real basis, the bank desired that the promoter should contribute 25% of their total current assets. So for the MPBF, maximum permissible bank finance, if the 100 rupees is the total current assets, 25 will be contributed, 25 crore will be contributed by the promoter, and the 75 crore remaining current assets minus other current liabilities. Other current liability means liabilities other than Banco borrowers. It will be the maximum permissible bank finance. In this scenario, the current ratio should be 1.33 because when we are contributing, the promoter is contributing 25% of the total current assets, the ratio will definitely come to 1.33. Now we can understand this method by this example. If a company is having 4,000 total current assets, other current liability means the liability other than bank is 800. Then as per this method, the working capital gap will be total current assets minus current liabilities. That will be 4,000 minus 800 is equal to 3,200. Now the promoter have to contribute 25% of their total current assets, means 25% of 4,000, 1,000 will be contributed by the promoter. So under this method, the permissible lending will be 3,200 crore, which is the working capital gap minus the contribution of the promoter, and the working capital limit will be 2,200. So in this case, if you calculate the current ratio, the total current assets is 4,000 and the total current liability will be 3,000 because 2,200 is the bank finance and 800 is the other current liability. So it will be 3,000 and the current ratio will be 1.33. I hope this is clear to everyone. Next, assessed bank finance based on the projected financial method. Actually, this method is most suitable for the promoters. So here, whatever the projected balance sheet is given by the promoter and fund flow planned for the current and next year, based on the examination of the profitability and financial parameters, assessed bank finance is calculated by the bank based on the projected balance sheet, because what is the requirement that will be projected in the projected balance sheet. Another popular method of lending is a cash budget method. Here we generally see that many of the MSME are in the service sector. They are producing the seasonal product. They are in the construction activities, sugar, tea, IT software, BPO. So their turnover, sometimes education institutions. For them, cash budget method is the most appropriate method for calculation of the lending. Suppose a company have received a project for the development of software. And the total price of the contract is 200 lakhs and the total expenditure is estimated at rupees 170 lakhs. And it is to be completed in the 12 months. And the terms of payment under the contract will be received 10 lakh in advance, third month 20 lakh, then 6 months 20 lakhs, 9 months 20 lakhs, and balance 130 will be at the end. So bank generally see their cash inflow and cash outflow. So bank will see the monthly their cash inflow and outflow and see where is the cash deficit and surplus. If we see in the first month, inflow is 10 lakh and outflow is 0. So retained. So cash deficit is only 0. Next year, next month, no inflow, but outflow is 10 lakh. So every month we see that in the first month, 0. Next month deficit 10 lakh. Next month surplus 9 lakhs. Then 11 lakhs, 4 lakhs surplus. So we calculate like that, and then cumulative. So the cumulative, we see the first month it is 0, second month it is 10, third month it is 1 negative, fourth month is 12 negative, fifth month is 23 negative. So in the month 11 month, the highest deficit in the cash flow is 83 lakhs. So this will be the limit for that MSME for this next financial year. The bank will take 25% margin from them. Say 20.75 lakh will be taken as a margin and the limit will be fixed 62.25 lakhs. And based on the monthly deficit and surplus, driving power will be allowed to the MSME unit so that they can utilize their fund as per their requirement. Because this amount is not released in the initial month, it will be released as per the deficit shown in the cash flow statement on monthly to month basis. So these are the major working capital finance methods being used by the banks in India. Slightly it may be different practice, maybe from bank to bank, but overall these are the major guidelines which is being taken care by the banks in India. Now, the bank finance for MSME and startup. There are two type of schemes. One scheme is from on the directions of the government of India because they have framed the schemes, and the other is the bank themselves have the framed the schemes. The government sponsored scheme. Most important is PM Vishwakarma scheme. Other is Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, Stand Up India scheme, PM Shwanidhi, Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program, Credit Linked Capital Subsidy Scheme. These are the major 6 schemes are from the government side. If we see, the government has also developed one online platform where the in principle sanction is being provided in 59 minutes for the loan up to 5 crore. The site is www.psbloanin59minutes.com. This is the site of the government of India. Anyone can apply in any of the schemes and they can get the in principle approval within 59 minutes. It is the simplest, fastest, safest and smartest way of the lending. When money is the need of hour, we will help the MSME get it in less than 1 hour. There is no collateral security, because we know that all the loans up to 5 crore is covered under CG technology. Leading the change to digital lending. This is the online marketplace to cater to various financial aspirations of individuals and businesses in the simplest and hassle-free way. Presently, there are 20 plus partner banks. 7.5 lakh journey already completed, means loan sanction disbursed. And the amount wise 74,000 crore loan has been disbursed under 59 minutes scheme by the different banks. Before applying to this scheme, we need some document, or the MSME needs some document in their hand so that the data can be fetched. GST or sales data, income tax return details, bank statement of last 6 months, directors, partner and proprietor detail. Now, the system take care, verify from the GST portal that the sales shown in the application is matching with the GST portal. So it is a perfect sale, and based on that, the system allowed 25% limit based on the GST sale. Income tax return detail. System check the income tax return whether genuine or not. Bank statement is also checked online by the system. And based on the promoters, partners and proprietors detail, CIBIL data is being fetched whether any director, promoter or partner is having defaulted in any institution in India. So based on the online verification on all these different websites or data, it takes less than 1 hour time and give the sanction, in principle sanction, to the concerned MSME applicant. And as per the choice of the applicant, the application will be forwarded online to the bank where the applicant has desired the loan, and the bank will complete the other documents or document before disbursement. So this is the one unique platform the government of India has provided, and it shown that 74,000 crore is not a small amount. If you see PM Vishwakarma Yojana, basically it is for the artisans and the craftsmen. And the purpose is to support for better and modern tools to enhance their capacity, productivity and quality of products. It gives the easy access to the beneficiary without any collateral and on the reduced rate of interest, because there are interest subvention under this scheme also. At here, every entrepreneur have to go for the 5 days basic skill training program in the first tranche, and thereafter the advanced skill training for the 15 days for the second tranche. For the first tranche, 1 lakh loan is allowed, and for the second tranche, 2 lakh loan is permitted. The first loan is to be repaid in 1.5 years, and the second tranche loan should be paid in 2.5 years. 5% rate is being charged on this loan. The other, the government take care. The only one member from the family are eligible for taking the benefit. The other is Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. It is a most flagship programs in India. Almost more than 10 years they have completed. And if we will see the figures, it is really an eye opener for each and every citizen of this country. The purpose is to give the non-farm enterprises, those who are engaged in manufacturing, trading and service activity, for income generation. It is only for micro and small enterprises, not for the medium enterprises. There are 4 types of category under this scheme. First is issue where 50,000 loan maximum is permissible. Kishore category more than 50,000 up to rupees 5 lakh. Tarun category more than 5 lakh up to 10 lakh. Tarun plus, it is more than 10 lakh up to 20 lakhs. And for Tarun plus, actually he has availed and successfully repaid the previous loan under the Tarun category. So here the assessment of the cash credit limit is based on the 20% of the realistic projected turnover, and the margin will be 5%. Repayment period is 7 years. No collateral security up to 10 lakh. About 10 lakh as per the bank policy. But here I want to show you in the CGTMSE slide how the banks are taking the benefit of the CGTMSE and how it is being passed to the MSME entrepreneurs. Under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, number of loans sanctioned till date is 5.43 crore loans has been sanctioned, and the amount is 5,50,000 crores, and the amount disbursed is 5,40,000 crore. So this is a huge amount. If we see 5 crore, we can see almost, if we take the population of 140 crore, so 4% population we can say we have covered through PM Mudra Yojana. The Startup India scheme. This scheme is to facilitate SC/ST and women entrepreneurs, and the loan amount minimum should be 10 lakh and maximum should be 1 crore. And the target is that every branch of the commercial bank should lend at least one SC/ST borrower and one woman borrower per branch per year. Size of the loan. The composite loan can be taken. Security, it will be covered by the guarantee, CGTMSE. Repayment period is 7 years. The margin money means this is a contribution by the government. Earlier it was 25%, now it is 15%. So 10% will be contributed by the borrower or the MSME entrepreneur. So that 25% margin will be with the bank, 15% from the government and 10% from the MSME entrepreneur, and 75% will be lended by the banks itself. Lending under the Stand Up India, the total application as on date is around 3 lakh. Of 70,000 crore, banks have received as on date. The total sanctions are 2,75,000 crore, and around 63,000 crore has been sanctioned by the banks under this scheme. PM Shwanidhi. Generally, this scheme is popular in the name of street vendor loan scheme. The first tranche is up to 10,000, second tranche is up to 20,000, and the third tranche is up to 50,000. No collateral security, it is covered under CGTMSE, and the disbursement will be made in the account. It is the cash disbursement, no to the supplier. Insurance is not required at here. If we see the total loan sanction under this scheme is around 1 crore, and the disbursement number is 96 lakhs, and the amount is around 14,000 crore. The coverage really 1 crore number is really great. Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program. It is a flagship program of KBIC. Here, this is only for the new projects. For the manufacturing sector, it is 25 lakh, and it is the service sector, it is 10 lakh only. No collateral security is required, and it will be covered under the CGTMSE. If we see the beneficiary contribution under the general category is 10%. And for a special category, which include SC, ST, OBC, minority, women, ex-servicemen, physically handicapped, northeast regions, hill and border area, it requires only 5%. And the subsidy on the project in the rural area for the special category, it is 35%, and general category, it is 25%. In the urban area, the subsidy amount is 10% lesser than the rural area in the both category. Next scheme is the credit linked capital subsidy scheme. So this is for the upgradation of the technology, because what we have seen, if the technology is latest, it gives the more production. So to promote the technology upgradation, this scheme give the 1 crore loan is framed under this scheme. Subsidy is 15%. So 85 crore, 85 lakh will be the maximum limit, and the contribution will be reduced under this. If any entrepreneur who replace the same type of machinery, then scheme is not covered. But if they replace with the higher technology, then this subsidy is available and the loan is also available. Now, in addition to that, the government has framed many support systems for the MSME so that they can not only survive, but they can participate aggressively in the development of this nation. So all the Uddam registration is now online. MSME team, it is a digital initiative to support MSME in onboarding e-commerce platform. We see that as on date, marketing is a big challenge for the MSME. So MSME team help to them on onboarding the e-commerce platforms. CGTMSE is again a great scheme where banks hesitate to lend to the entrepreneurs without any collateral security. Now the government of India came to give the support to the MSME so that the banks are assured about their return in case there is a default. Direct benefit transfer, MSME Samadhan, where the payment to the MSME is not made within the prescribed time under this act, then this platform take care of the MSMEs. MSME Sammanth. So it is also for the procurement policy. All the central government, their department, public sector undertakings. This policy mandate that at least 20% of the total procurement by all these public sector entrepreneurs and the government should be done from the MSME only. Market promotion and development scheme, trade and industry related functional support services, e-marketing and digital service, domestic market promotion, micro and small enterprises cluster development program, procurement and marketing support scheme. Actually, cluster development is a really great help to the MSMEs. Now, these days, every state government is developing the cluster, one or more cluster in every district. If we see in the UP, this is the one district, one product. If see the West Bengal, the same product is there also. So every state develop the cluster and take care of the MSME of the same nature at one place. Now, what is the CGTMSE? Actually, it is a trust, and the guarantee is 10 crore for the normal MSME and 20 crore for the startup for the export oriented units. Here, under the micro enterprises, based on the amount up to 5 lakh, 85% is covered under this scheme. And in case the bank is giving the loan to MSME borrower, say 5 lakh, then only 15% the bank has the risk. Means only 7.5 lakh is the, 75,000 is only on risk. Other amount will be taken care by the trust. If the amount is more than 5 lakh up to 50 lakh, then coverage is, or more, then coverage is 75%. If the MSE unit is situated at northeastern J&K, Ladakh, loan up to 50 lakh, 80% is coverage is there, and above 50 lakh, 75%. Women or Agniveer promoted MSME, 90% coverage is available. SC, ST, physically handicapped, 85% coverage is available, and the for others 75% coverage. You will surprise, now the banks are preferring to get the credit guarantee. At here only the annual fees have to pay to the promoter, which is ranging from 0.4 to 2% based on the financial institution and the product. In some schemes, this fees is also being paid by the bank, not by the borrower. For the banker's point of view, the bankers get the immediate money in case of default by the promoter or entrepreneur. So always keeping in view of the time value of the money, banks prefer to take the CGTMSE coverage instead of taking the collateral coverage. Then there are few schemes which is not on the direction of the government of India, but keeping in view of the potentials available in the market, the banks have designed the schemes to address their profession for needs for that particular segment. So one scheme is for lending to professionals like us. So those professionals, maybe the doctors, engineers, CAs, CMAs, CS, software professionals, and the other doctors. Doctors have the more different type of requirements also. So here, the loan is being taken care by the banks, and generally 75% of the investment bank give the loan, and for overdraft purpose, their day-to-day requirement 25 up to 25% loan is given by the banks. Sanjeevani scheme, actually Sanjeevani is for addressing only the doctors. So there is a huge scope under this scheme. So for the individual doctor, it is up to 2 crore, and for other than individual hospitals up to 50 crore, it is allowed. Here is also 25% margin is desired for the premises. If the equipments are there, 15% margin is there. And if they are taking the land for filling the hospital, then 50% margin is required. So their overdraft requirement is being assessed based on the 25% of the annual receipt, which is maximum 2 crore. So this is the scheme for the doctors. Now these days, after coming the GST, some of the banks have come based on the app-based GST loan. It is an online platform. Generally, all banks are giving this type of loans. So this is a STP mode. It is an app-based loan. Any GST paying company or the MSME, they can apply online and get the loan within few minutes in their account. Here the loan repayment period is 90 days. That is there. Then solar energy scheme. Now these days, all the MSME units are migrating to this renewable energy, and they are utilizing their ground, their rooftop for the development of the renewable energy. It may be the solar. So bank provide the loan for that. Here the minimum 20% margin is desired, and they may have the tie-up with the state electricity distributing company, and whatever they supply to the company, it may be adjusted in their electric consumption which they are taking from the distribution company. So it is a good way of the saving of the fuel or the power. In addition to that, also there are many schemes, general schemes we have discussed earlier in the first part of this presentation. The banks provide almost 75% of the investment and 20% of the projected turnover for the working capital. And in the MSME sector, the average growth of all the banks are between 15 to 20%. The growth of MSME lending is slightly higher in the private sector banks and slightly lower in the public sector banks. That is, the strategy may be different because public sector banks give the loan to the green projects also. It may be the government sponsored scheme or it may be the non-government schemes, but someone who want to start the new venture or the new project, public sector bank finance to them. So the risk is higher, but the private banks are not taking part in the green projects. If the project is running, then and the risk is over, then they try to take over this type of borrowers from the public sector banks at the lower rate of interest, lower charges, because this is the position where the risk is nullified and they can give the loan at the lower interest. Generally, private and foreign banks take the entry after the 5 years of the completion by the MSME unit, but the public sector banks actually they finance from the initial level. So they are taking the risk also. So if you see the non-performing asset, because in the green field, the default rate may be higher. So NPA may be definitely higher in the private and foreign banks because they have nullified the risk. So their NPA is low. But the public sector banks are taking this responsibility for the economic development of this country. And they are reducing their NPA by taking the benefit of the CGTMSE. That's why if you see more than 5 crore loan under PM Mudra, around 1 crore loan under PM Swanidhi and the other loans we have seen. In addition to that, every state has also formed their policy, lucrative policy than this, for the benefit of the MSME registered in their states. So we cannot discuss in detail on those schemes. So this is the overall scenario about the lending to the MSME by banks. And the banks are very aggressive in the lending. No doubt, there may be some understanding level may be there. But if you see, the banks are aggressive, not only the banks, now these days, NBFCs are also very aggressive in the financing to MSME sector. So this is all about on this topic. So I hand over to the madam. To you.
Yes, sir. Very nice presentation because everybody has mentioned in the question and answer section. One query is there raised by Sanjay Pasari, one of the members. He has asked, what are the core area of practice as a CMA in the field of MSME? I hope
Yes.
you have already mentioned, but still if you can highlight the areas, please.
Madam, if you see,
Yes, sir.
we are the financial professionals.
Yes.
And the banks are also in the financial professionals.
Yes.
If we see how the chartered accountants are exploring this business is not only for the chartered accountants. The CMA can help in preparation of the project report. CMA can help on their document preparations for their Udyam registration, for their GST registration, taxation related matters, and all the other matters. So there is huge scope for the practice for the CMAs. I have seen that many I cannot say that this is for the NBFC sector. If I say they give some incentive also to the professionals if they give the lead of the MSME, but not in the banks. Actually, banks are not giving such type of loan, but where DSAs are there for specifically for the MSME, yes, some of the benefits are being passed, but majority of DSA is not in the MSME sector because they are in the housing or other sectors. But we have the huge scope as a CMA for the practice at here. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Because many of the members have mentioned that wonderful discussions. Kindly share the video recording and a copy of the PPT. It is my duty, but many has mentioned as quite elaborate presentations. So it is a good presentation, we must say. And you have shared your valuable timing with us. Though you are a member, so we definitely have been enlightened by your discussion, sir. So it was a very nice presentation. Thank you so much for sparing your precious time with us. And the members are delighted. They have enlightened. That's our main intent.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
you.
joining
Thank
us.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
End of the session over here. Okay, sir.
Right, ma'am. Right. Thank you.
Yes, madam. Yeah. Okay, fine. Circulated later on because in our recent board meeting, it has been decided that many of the members seek for the but madam. Okay, so you please mention the main areas which will be discussed in your PPT and share with us that, not the full PPTs. Okay. Okay, that you please write down in the mail, please, madam. So I also will have to satisfy to our board members. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Now, it has been made mandatory in our last board meeting held on 30th that all the members will be. I can also understand what your problem is, but what I will. I will be publishing in our next MSME tidbit. That's fine, but that's fine. In this issue also, your article is coming up. এখানে আছে কি? Okay, in the next issue, we will be publishing. So you please mention in your mail, madam, that I'll be submitting this for wider circulation in your through your MSME tidbits. Okay. Oh, that you please mention in my mail so that I can satisfy to my board members as well. Okay, madam. Okay, and I demo session on 12th in the early morning, if it is possible. Just say yes, because during the session, if something happens, that session will be hassle-free. That is on 12th, on around 11:30, we will conduct one demo session for this presentation. Demo session means for this, whether you are getting connected easily, hassle-free way. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Bye. MSME টিটবিটে দেবে, ওর এবারে টিটবিটে আর্টিকেল আছে। ওই পিপিটিটা এমনি দেবে না, ওদের ট্রেনিং সেশন বলে। এটা কি বন্ধ করো না গো?